We now begin with an opening prayer, which will be offered by Jacob Chatnover, who is entering his final year in our rabbinic program. Please rise.
The following blessing was written by my classmate Michael Fraud, who is unable to join us today. May the Holy Blessed One guide the steps of all those graduating today and bless them with strength, courage, understanding, and humility in order to serve the Jewish people with joy and love. May it be God's will that they always serve as vessels of Torah in each and every role that they hold. May they fulfill the words of Pirkei Avot. Rabban Gamliel beno shel Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi Omer, B'chol ha'oskim im hatzibur, yihiu oskim imahem l'shem shamayim. Sh'zichut avotam mesayatan, v'tzidkatam omedet la'ad. Ve'atem, ma'aleh ani aleichem sachar harbe, ki ilu asitem. Rabban Gamliel, the son of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, said, all who exert themselves for the community should exert themselves for the sake of heaven. For the merit of the community's ancestors aids them, and their righteousness endures forever. Nevertheless, as for you who exert yourselves, God will bestow upon you as great a reward as if you had accomplished it on your own. God, we pray that you fill each of these graduates' hearts with the humility to remember that they are part of something larger than themselves, a tradition whose richness and enduring wisdom is far greater than we as individuals comprehend. We ask that you give them the fortitude to labor on behalf of the Jewish people, in easy times and in hard ones, in situations of clarity and in those of doubt, knowing that you desire their wholehearted efforts, and that those they serve will be enriched by their service. We pray that those graduating today be richly rewarded for their wisdom, sincerity, and commitment to Torah. May you grant them the strength to fulfill their will and yours. Amen.
Good afternoon. My name is Andy Offit, and I serve as chair of the board of the trustees of Hebrew College. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 98th commencement exercises. You have a chance to clap in a second. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm honored to open these ceremonies. Please join me in acknowledging our 2023 graduates, our faculty, trustees, and administration. I want to congratulate all of our graduates and the family members, friends, and fans who are here to celebrate with you today. We're all very proud of you. And now I turn these commencement exercises over to our president, Rabbi Sharon Cohn-Anis.
Get up on this thing or not? No. Thank you, Andy. Tzoraim tovim, good afternoon. Graduates, faculty, alumni, families, and friends. And thank you, Jacob, where are you? For those beautiful words on behalf of Michael. To our graduates, on behalf of your teachers, the Hebrew College Board of Trustees, and the entire Hebrew College community, I am delighted to congratulate you today and to wish you a warm and heartfelt Mazal Tov. To all those who have supported and sustained you and rooted for you, spouses, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, children, mentors, colleagues, community members, friends, and chosen family, thank you all and congratulations to you as well. Last year, we celebrated 100 years since Hebrew College first opened its doors. We are thrilled to begin our next chapter on this new campus, a vibrant communal hub a vision of creative partnership and collaboration across difference in a time when those things are all too rare. Your experience as students here at Hebrew College has been significantly shaped by these last several turbulent years. A global pandemic, a period of deepening polarization and division in our communities, in our nation, and in our world. We have all been reminded that it is easier to break things down than it is to build them up. It is easier to tear things apart than it is to stitch them together. In choosing a life of sacred service, you are choosing to be among the holy workers and weavers who continue to construct the Mishkan in every generation, who commit to making a home for the Holy One here on earth. The building of the Mishkan begins, we are told, with nidivut halev, with generosity of the heart. And it ends with v'shachantu b'tocham. It ends with creating space for God's presence to dwell within us and between us. It is the between us that I want to underscore today. The parsha that we read yesterday, Parshat Neso, closes with the following image. Uvevo Moshe el ohel moed ledaber ito, vayishma et hakol medaber elav me'al hakaporet, asher al aron ha'idut, mi ben shnei hakruvim, vayedaber elav. When Moshe went into the tent of meeting to speak with God, he would hear the voice addressing him from above the cover that was on the top of the Ark of the Covenant, from between the two kruvim. Thus God spoke to him. I want to call our attention to one word in this verse, a little word with big implications. The word mibein, or from between. The voice of God emerges from between the two kruvim. God dwells in and addresses us from the spaces between. This spiritual intuition lies at the heart of our educational approach at Hebrew College. The dialogue across difference that takes place in our classrooms, in our Zoom rooms, and in Chevruta around the tables of the Beit Midrash is not only a battle of ideas, but a meeting of souls, an encounter of whole human beings. Torah emerges between us. God is present between us. Graduates, I want to ask you to take a moment now. Take a moment to think about all the people who have helped bring you here, to this time, to this place. Think back to a teacher who first kindled your love of learning, or who saw something in you, who had faith in you, who encouraged you along the way. Think about the people who helped you decide that you wanted to become a cantor or a rabbi or an educator. Better? Oh man, it was so good up until... Thank you, Marilyn. Oh, well. This really is the most important part, though. Think about who helped you decide to keep going, even when you doubted yourself, or when the path was more difficult than you had ever imagined. Think also about people who have been touched by your own teaching, your own Torah, your own voice. Someone for whom you've been a source of wisdom or companionship at an important time. Someone who has felt heard by you or has seen themselves reflected more fully through your eyes. Torah emerges between us. God is present between us. The work that you are going to do as educators, as cantors, as rabbis, is work that can only be done in relationship with others. It is work that, by definition, happens in the spaces between us. Recently, I had the extraordinary opportunity to reconnect with my beloved 9th grade English teacher for the first time in about 45 years, to tell her what a difference she had made in my life and to thank her after all this time. I thought of the words of Tracy Kidder from his 1989 book, Among School Children. Quote, "Good teachers and rabbis and cantors put snags in the river of students passing by. And over the years, they redirect hundreds of lives. Many people find it easy to imagine unseen webs of malevolent conspiracy in the world, and they are not always wrong." He goes on to say that there is also a web of goodness that conspires to hold humanity together. And, quote, "It is made of people who can never fully know the good they have done." This is my blessing for you as you leave here today and continue on your path. May you feel the presence of your teachers with you, supporting you and urging you on. May you be blessed with moments of serendipity years or decades from now when you unexpectedly meet someone who wants to thank you for the difference you made in their life. And may you always remember that you can never fully know the good you have done. Amen. Throughout its 101-year history, Hebrew College has been committed to nurturing a vibrant, content-rich Jewish community through high-quality education. Each year at commencement, the college awards special recognition to individuals who, in their careers and in their lives, have contributed to these goals. We will now be presenting the Dr. Benjamin Shevach Award for Educational Leadership and the Sidney Hilson Rose Bronstein Award for Leadership in Hebrew Language and Literature. The first award is named for Dr. Benjamin Shevach, who left an indelible mark on Jewish education in Boston. The Dr. Benjamin Shevach Award is the highest award that Hebrew College bestows for achievement in the field of Jewish education. This year, we are proud to present this award to poet, playwright, peace activist, and beloved educator, Merle Feld. In an address delivered to the Hebrew College Board of Trustees in 1983, Louis Newman and Susan Shevitz wrote that, quote, "The Jewish educator's task is to make clear how Judaism enables one to respond to the unceasing challenge of being alive." Merle's work with countless aspiring and accomplished Jewish leaders over decades has been precisely about this sacred task, helping her students respond to the unceasing challenge of being alive through writing as a spiritual practice. With Merle, the fact that being alive is an unceasing challenge isn't a scandal or a surprise. It feels like more of an inside joke. With a twinkle in her eye and her signature blend of seriousness and play, of reverence and irreverence, Merle lovingly invites her students, all of us, to tell the truth about our lives. Merle asks questions that matter. She listens very carefully to the answers that unfold. And she invites her students to speak and write from a place of personal honesty and depth. Her questions and writing prompts are both gentle and probing. She listens with intelligence and empathy and curiosity, and she exemplifies exquisitely, more than anyone I know, the sacred act of what feminist theologian Nell Morton describes as, quote, hearing each other into speech. Through her work, Merle has helped to nurture leaders who are awake to the spirit within and attuned to the spirit of those they will serve. The ripples of her influence are really beyond measure. As one recent graduate has testified, quote, I think of Merle every day and how much her gifted listening, insightful questions, and loving presence meant to me in the delicate work of rabbinic formation. A final note. I vividly remember the first time I heard Merle read her poetry aloud. It was 1997, and she was a keynote presenter at a national student conference on Jewish women that we were hosting at Yale University. I still remember the vibrating stillness in the room as hundreds of students from all over the country listened to Merle's poetry and heard a voice that felt deeply human and humane, richly Jewish, fiercely feminist. Implicitly in her poetry and her presence said it all. Bring your full self to the Jewish community, to the world, to life. We need you. Hashmi'ini. Let us hear your voice. Merle, in recognition of your transformative, life-giving, voice-eliciting work as a Jewish educator, both within and far beyond our own community, I'm honored to present the Dr. Benjamin Shevach Award to you today. Please come forward.
In the beginning, and for many years, driving from Western Mass. Hi, Tanya. Check in and chat with Ann Meyerowitz, with Lorena Rosenberg. Setting up the room, moving desks and chairs to create an intimate space. Brought from home, a favorite hand-thrown mug, flowers in a small vase, sometimes a colorful cloth for the table. Now, sitting in my study, the phone rings. I hear the familiar voice of a client. quickly move through "How are you?" to a more fruitful question, "What's happening?" Then opening, listening. I respond with more questions, perhaps a story. Powerful energy flows between us, understanding, empathy, laughter too. Let me offer a prompt, I say, a question to consider as they write. Call me back, I say. By the end of an hour, and often time over, they have received respect, new insight, bolstering of courage, the gentlest love. Multiply by weeks, months. That's what I've been doing with my life for the past 20 years. Time well spent. I'm honored today to receive the Dr. Benjamin Shevach Award for Distinguished Achievement in Jewish Educational Leadership. What made all of this possible? The vision and support of Joyce and Mike Rappaport, Rabbi Bill Lebo, and the warm welcome by 5 rabbinical schools. I bless all of your leaders and your students with my enduring appreciation and love as you have blessed me.
Mazal Tov, Merle. Okay. It is now my pleasure to call upon Dr. Susie Tanschel, Vice President of Hebrew College, to present our next award.
Hi, everybody. Our next award is in memory of Sidney Hilson and his student Rose Bronstein, and recognizes distinguished leadership and commitment to the centrality of the Hebrew language in Jewish education, for the pursuit of Jewish studies, and for the advancement of Jewish culture and civilization. It is an honor to present the 2023 Sidney Hilson Rose Bronstein Award to Rabbi Andrew Ergis. Rabbi Ergis is the Chief Executive Officer at Hebrew at the Center, which they self-describe as an organization working to bring a revolution to Hebrew education in North America and beyond. I love the ambition of that, parenthetically. Andrew brought to this role over 25 years of professional involvement in Jewish education and organizational leadership. You can read his whole bio on the program. I just want to say he also was a head of school for 7 years, so that's pretty awesome. Rabbi Ergis is deeply passionate about the Hebrew language and has the required leadership skills to professionalize and elevate the field of the teaching and learning of Hebrew. As he himself has written, Hebrew is a shared inheritance. It is the connector between Jews across theological and ideological differences and across geographic boundaries. Arnie Winchell, the founding chair of Hebrew at the Center, notes that Andrew is not only focused on the success of Hebrew at the Center, but on building partnerships in order to strengthen the whole field of Hebrew teaching and learning and develop multiple pathways for others to connect with Hebrew. We at Hebrew College are fortunate to be one of their partners as we collaborate on courses for Hebrew teachers across the country who are working to improve their teaching practice. Part of Andrew's work is to spearhead the development of a new pedagogy of Hebrew that is fun, I love this, fun, accessible, and relevant. It has the goal of strengthening Jewish life and supporting Hebrew as a powerful component of Jewish identity. Andrew aims to bring Hebrew closer to learners with the hope that this catalyzes other innovations in Jewish education. We are all blessed to enjoy the fruit of Andrew's labors, and I am confident his impact will be felt for decades to come. Andrew, Hebrew College is committed to the teaching and learning of Hebrew language and as an essential part of our mission to promote both deep literacy and rich creativity in all of our graduate and community programs. In recognition of your dedication to this shared mission, the college is very pleased to present the Hillstein-Bronstein Award to you today. Please come forward.
Never speak after someone with an accent who is funny or a poet. תודה רבה לנשיאת המכללה, רבי שרן כהן אנספלד, את הסגנית דוקטור טנשל, ואת ידידי הדייקן, Herr Dr. Rabbi Dr. Daniel Judson, PhD, וכל החברים שלנו ושותפים כאן בהיברו College. It is truly with real humility that I accept this award, especially knowing so many of its prior recipients. As the head of Ivrit B'Merkaz and the former chair of the Council for Hebrew Language and Culture in North America, I feel particularly honored and blessed to know that the first recipient of this award was Arnie Winchell, our founder and board president, and a fellow mischief maker on the council. An award for Hebrew leadership, Hanhaga in Hebrew. How do I understand being honored for leadership when I realize how much more is left to do? How do we make Hebrew fundamental to Jewish life in our community as an underutilized tool that helps access identity and meaning, Jewish literacy, and connection to global Jewry? We first encountered this shoresh for Hanhaga Nun He Gimel in Bereshit. Vayinhog, Jacob drove off his livestock and wealth, upsetting his father-in-law. More positively, Moshe Rabbeinu is also found using Hanhaga. He's also, incidentally, driving around his father-in-law's sheep. Sometimes, though, it has a negative valence. In Nahum, we hear min hagot, a moan, as Chuzah's handmaids escort her into exile. Fast forward to modern Hebrew, and it's an honor to be sitting behind soon-to-be Dr. David Brozar. We get a more positive manhig, or leader. The word hitnagut, behavior. The more traditional minhag, or custom, and the word nehag, or driver. I appreciate being recognized for what I strive to do as a manhig, helping lead an organization that works to change the hitnagut of our Jewish community, creating behavior to ensure Hebrew becomes more of a minhag here in the North American community. We at Ivrit B'Merkaz, we strive to ensure that there's a nehag sitting in the driver's seat, moving the Hebrew agenda forward, changing the narrative so that we spend less time engaged in hitnahagot, lamenting the status of Hebrew here in exile, and that we bring about the type of Hanhaga that will encourage a new generation of leadership, like the one who is graduating today, who can bring their love and passion and knowledge of Hebrew and of course of Hebrew College, to everyone that they serve. I thank you for this award and through this moment, helping advance Hebrew.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susie and Mazal Tov, again, Merle and Andrew. It's really an honor for us to honor you and to be able to recognize you and your exemplary leadership with these awards. It's now my zchut, my privilege, to award 2 special honorary degrees on behalf of the Hebrew College Board of Trustees. Our first honorary degree candidate is Reverend Liz Walker. Reverend Walker is unable to be with us in person today, but we're fortunate that she'll be joining us via Zoom. And I want to call upon Rabbi Or Rose, director of the Betty Ann Greenbaum Miller Center for Interreligious Learning and Leadership, to join me in saying a few words about her.
President Annisfeld, I have the honor to present Reverend Liz Walker for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Liz, are you out there?
Please, can we see you? Hey, great. You'll be able to see her in a minute. I'll say a few words from Reverend Walker's bio. Reverend Liz Walker, a former journalist, a humanitarian, and minister, leads the Corey Johnson Program for Post-Traumatic Healing, named after a young murdered member of Roxbury Presbyterian Church, where Reverend Walker served as pastor until December of 2021. The Corey Johnson Program is a faith-inspired, clinically supported, community-based program that addresses the epidemic of post-traumatic stress in a neighborhood too often overrun by violence. The program offers weekly community gatherings called Can We Talk?, where residents are encouraged to share traumatic experiences, increase their understanding of psychological trauma, and learn coping skills. The program also offers access to mental health support that some residents might not otherwise receive. Since it began in 2014, the Corey Johnson Program has served thousands of residents and is in the process of replicating its Can We Talk community conversations around the country. Reverend Walker took a lead role in vaccine education for communities disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, serving on Massachusetts Governor Baker's advisory group for COVID vaccine distribution. With a life filled with many chapters, Liz Walker is still best known as Boston's first Black television news anchor, a position she held for 21 of her 28-year television news career. She is the recipient of 2 Emmys, symbolizing the highest recognition from the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and an Edward R. Murrow Award for Journalistic Excellence. A 2005 graduate of Harvard Divinity School, Reverend Walker has long been actively involved in a healing ministry. She helped found the Jane Doe Safety Fund, a multi-million-dollar anti-violence initiative in Massachusetts that continues to work on policy and supports domestic abuse shelters and safe houses around Massachusetts. She spent 10 years working in South Sudan, one of Africa's most troubled countries, and helped build a girls' school there. Considered one of the nation's most healing voices, Reverend Walker is a member of the core strategy team of the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization and serves on the Board of Trustees for Boston Medical Center. She has served on the Board of Trustees for Andover Newton Theological Seminary, the Tufts Health Foundation, and Board of Overseers for Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. She is the mother of 3 and grandmother of 2. I invite Rabbi Or Rose to add a few personal remarks and blessings.
Hi, Liz.
He can be heard.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. But I'll speak first. We'll do this dance together. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Those are the words of the late, great Reverend Howard Thurman, another of Boston's treasures. Dear Liz, you embody these words from one of our country's greatest spiritual and ethical leaders, like few others I have encountered in my life. More impressive still is the fact that throughout your illustrious career, you had the courage to discern what would truly, quote, make you come alive, end quote. And then you went out and actually did it. The litany of your accomplishments in different fields of endeavor, as we just heard, not only testifies to your commitment to be true to yourself, but to do so in the service of others. In the words of your beloved friend, colleague, and pastor, Dr. Gloria White Hammond, we loved Liz, the news anchor, because we trusted her to tell us the truth. As her pastor, says Gloria, I can tell you that she not only talks honestly, she walks honestly. She is authentic. What you see is what you get. And her faithfulness is inspiring, especially when it comes to those vulnerable through injustice. Simply put, Liz shows up, even when it's not her show, with kindness, competence, and compassion. What she has done for this community and this Commonwealth is nothing less than extraordinary, and that is cause for great celebration. Thank you, Liz, one of my great sheroes, for honoring us today by allowing us to bestow this honor on you.
So honored to be with you all this afternoon. For a person who shows up, I couldn't show up with you, and I apologize for that. I'm also upset because I have paper towels over my back, and I was working so hard to get my kitchen clean. So that's 2 apologies. But to Rabbi Anisfield and all the other educational leaders at this esteemed institution, it is indeed an honor to be with you virtually, if not in the flesh. I wanted to say congratulations to my fellow honorary degree recipient, David Broza. I look forward to meeting you one day on this journey. And again, I am sorry I am not with you, even though I still work in Boston and I am always going back and forth. I couldn't figure that schedule out this time. I live in Florida, and in some ways I want to apologize for that these days, because this place seems to be a strange new place. But it is very special for me, for many reasons, to be with your graduates this day. You who will be the world's meaning makers and the world's community builders. Welcome. we have much work to do. And I just wanted to just say really quickly that I'd like to encourage you. Because you know how I started off talking about I'm sorry? I kind of feel like that's where we are in the world today. There's so many things to feel sorrow for. There's so many reasons that we could be sad. There's so many things that are disappointing. But I want to leave you with a little encouragement, and I'm going to use the words of one of my favorite American prophets, Abraham Joshua Heschel. Every minute in our civilization is packed with the tension, like the interlude between lightning and thunder. We are living in frightening and uncertain and precarious times, but here's my message. It's from a New Testament text, but I think it fits all of us. It says, "Don't grow weary in doing good. In due season we will reap if we do not lose heart." And that's the message that I think about all the time in my life. I moved to Florida to rest, to sit on the beach, to watch the waves, but I got here just in time to witness this frightening and precarious new energy that seems committed to dismissing and banning and hating. And I thought very seriously about leaving this state and returning to Massachusetts. But the message that has been affirmed from God for me is to remain here and not to give up and not to give out. And perhaps this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Not because I'm going to do some grand things like building a girls' school in Sudan or being part of a trauma program in Boston or being a television news reporter, but because I may not have to do something huge, but I have to do something. I may not have to do something grand, but I have to do something. And it all counts. It all matters. So that's my message to you. I know that you will go out in this world with this new tool that you have from this incredible institution, and you will do grand things. But I remind you, don't get weary and do everything in the sense of healing the world, which you know so well, building community, and helping people make meaning. Again, I am honored for this distinguished position today. I'm going to get rid of that paper towel. My love to all of you. God bless you and thank you.
Don't leave quite yet. Thank you so much, Reverend Walker. You'll get to your paper towel in a minute. In recognition of your leadership as a humanitarian, an interfaith partner, and a powerful voice for peace and for justice, the Board of Trustees of Hebrew College has voted to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. I am privileged to confer that degree, in witness whereof I will mail you this diploma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm now pleased to introduce our next candidate for an honorary degree, Mr. David Broza. I call upon Rabbi Or Rose to join us again in escorting David Broza to the podium.
President Annisfeld, I have the honor to present David Broza for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thank you. In addition to the distinction of providing the soundtrack for my life in my teens and 20s, let me share a few other distinctions of David Broza. David Broza is an internationally renowned Israeli singer-songwriter, recognized for his dynamic guitar performances and humanitarian efforts. His signature sound brings together songs in Hebrew, Spanish, and English with the influence of Spanish flamenco, American folk, rock and roll, and poetry. Social justice and peace advocacy are embedded in David Broza's work, as his 1977 hit song, Yetov, remains an Israeli peace anthem. He has over 40 albums released, many of which are multi-platinum. David Broza's extensive travels have contributed to his international sound and commitment to human connection, storytelling, and equality. He is the founder of nonprofit 1 Million Guitars, which provides underprivileged school children around the world with a handcrafted guitar and the foundation of a musical education. David Broza's charismatic, vibrant, and passionate energy is far-reaching and carries global impact. He is an extraordinary entertainer, an industry innovator, and an inspired and inspiring humanitarian.
David, when people speak of you, they often use words like singular or virtuoso, and for good reason. As my teenage son Aviv said after attending a concert that you gave locally in 2019, Abba, that guy is like LeBron James with a guitar. But today, I want to highlight another dimension of David's work, his commitment to collaboration. In fact, the last time my family and I saw him perform was at IMCA, at the YMCA in Jerusalem, roughly 10 months ago, with, among others, the Arab-Israeli singer and actress Miri Awad, and the Jerusalem Youth Choir, a group of Jewish, Arab-Israeli, and Palestinian young people. One of David's closest musical chevrutot was the late Yonatan Geffen, may his memory be for a blessing, who passed away just a few months ago. Commenting on his love for his creative collaborator, David described it as atik, ancient, and boundless, as if emanating from the biblical companions of David and Yonatan, and perhaps even from the infinite source of love and companionship, what the Mekubalim in our tradition, the mystics, call Atika Kadisha, the ancient Holy One. David, I bless you with the ability to continue to tap into that cosmic source of compassion and collaboration, and to give creative shape and form in your own unique ways to many more works that open our hearts to the interconnected nature of life. May your singular musical talents and sensitivity to the need for partnership continue to guide you to better things. As the ancient psalmist, the great singer, might have put it, Ach tov v'chesed, and as you remind us, show after show after show, yeh tov. How do you want to do it? You want to talk first?
Well, hopefully you can all hear me. I'll try to speak as loud as I can, as clear. No, it's okay. Let's see if this works. I feel I should play rather than speak, as my time is limited, and I'm known to do sunrise concerts, which means this could last forever. I will make it short in speaking. I want to congratulate the graduates and their families. This is my first visit here at the campus, and I'm humbled. I'm in awe. This is much larger a place with a capacity to deliver so much to the world than I could possibly imagine. And I'm so thrilled that I could make it and come in person. As we all know, this world now was just all over the place. As a matter of fact, these past few months, now that COVID is somewhat behind us, has become like full bloom, and everybody is open to receiving, especially us artists, who now travel endlessly and just try to reach as many places as we have missed over the years, being quarantined and so on. But I really want to congratulate the graduates as you embark on your journey, and with such wonderful fundamental tools with which you can deliver your purpose in life. And I was contemplating as I was listening to all the wonderful sermons and blessings. As the President mentioned, the Bein Levin, the in-between. We all say that these are very challenging times. I don't think there's a Jew in the past 5,000 years who wouldn't say that every day. And if I singularly say Jews, I'm sorry that we take ownership on this. We don't. Every person on earth goes through challenges, regardless of his faith, creed, whether he's rich or poor. And we know what that means. Life is not easy. But when you have the tools and you become a leader, a rabbi, a teacher, a mentor, you're in a place which is grander and greater than the average. And so you become a leader, you become a light to whoever it is you're mentoring, whoever it is who comes across your way. And what a great way to start your journey after having graduated such a wonderful establishment and a great school. And now these times, as Jewish people, I feel that it's the second time that I can remember in recent history. One part of it is history that I read about, the other is that I'm witnessing, where the Jews have to really embark on a new way of finding the purpose. That's a great challenge. Before the establishment of Israel, the diaspora was just a diaspora. Once Israel is established, we reconditioned our way of thinking that all us Jews are connected somehow to this great place, the land of milk and honey, Israel, Palestine, as it was called, Palestina, the Holy Land. Now we're embarking on a new phase. Somewhat 75 years after the new order, after the overcoming or the end of the Second World War, with all its wounds and pain, especially to the Jewish people, but the world at large, understanding that this was something that was beyond horror, that nothing has been written in the past to describe such horror that humanity can create. And here today we stand, or I feel I stand as an Israeli, on the threshold. And that threshold will take us to reinventing, restarting, redefining our Jewishness, our culture, our shelter. Is Israel the anchor? And it must remain the anchor. Israel is not created for 70 or 75 years of glory. It is created for 75 years of establishment and then the promise of the next 75 years. And that's how I see it. I'm humble enough, I'm naive enough to think that this is how we would go along. We're at a point where we have to think of ourselves, recondition ourselves to really hold on to the spirit that was planted over 100 years ago by the Zionist dream and recreating the new ideology. What will it be called? Zionism? Something else? That we'll wait and see. Who will be those leaders who will take us to that next level? Who will be Moses and Aaron? Who will they be? We don't know. We're waiting. We're at these times. It's a threshold. It's times between times. Ben Levin. And I really believe in it. I really feel it. Even though I'm desperate to see the end of the process. I know I have to be patient. And I know that good will come of it. So the Jews are disagreeing once again with each other, and this time on community level, within family, within friends. It'll all come to the point where we've said all we have to say, and how do we move on to the next level? And I believe that the leadership that comes out of a school like this, the tools that the rabbis have now to help reestablish, recondition our thoughts, will bring us to a safe future. To end in a more positive way, I'll add some major chords to this. And I'll sing that song. Forgive me if I'm losing you over here. I know I can't stand any taller, but if you don't mind, I will sit here and hopefully you'll hear. Just to sing the song Yetov, which is the song that started my career with my good friend, the late Jonathan Geffen, this great poet, playwright, journalist, performer, with whom I spent over 45 years of my career, who helped launch my career, who was my mentor, who was 10 years senior than me, and had seen so much, had gone through so much, and I had to learn from him till his last day, which was just 6 weeks ago. And so this is the song that launched my career, the first I recorded. It's called Things Will Be Better, Yetov. אני מביט מהחלום, וזה עושה לי די עצוב. האביב חלף ועבר, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן היה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך, אבל אני עוד כאן, ויהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, הלילה, כך אני נשאר. ילדים לובשים כנפיים ועפים אל הצבא, ואחרי שנתיים חוזרים ללא תשובה. אנשים חיים במתח, מחפשים סיבה לנשום, ובין שנאה לרצח מדברים על השלום. ויהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, הלילה, כך אני נשאר. כן, שם למעלה, בשמיים, עננים קוראים לעוף, ואני מביט למעלה, ורואה מטוס נטוף, ממשלה של גנרלים, מחלקת את הנוף לשלהם ולשלנו. מתי נראה את הסוף? אוי בנשיא מצרים, איך שמחתי לקראתו, פירמידות בעיניים, שלום במקטרתו, ואמרנו היי בוא נשלימה ונחיה כמו אחים. ואז הוא אמר קדימה, רק תצאו השטחים ויהיה טוב, או יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבע. אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. So this song was written in November of 1977 upon the arrival of Egypt's president Anwar Sadat to Israel, thus setting the path to peace, which we're still walking. And a little anecdote, my friend Jonathan, without failure, every year would call me and have me sit down with a pen and paper and would dictate another verse to me just to make sure we're still up with the times. So I just sang the first 4 or 5 verses, and you know how many years have gone since then, so just preparing you. Yeah, I'm not kidding. But, no, not today. There is one verse that we added that I'd like to translate so we're all on the same page. And this one says, that we shall learn to live together under the olive trees. And that children will grow up knowing no more wars, no terror, and no frontiers. And that fresh new grass will grow over the graveyards for love and peace. For after 100 years of war, we haven't and will not lose hope. עוד נלמד לחיות ביחד. בין חורשות עצי זיתים. ילדים יחיו בלי פחד, בלי גבולות, בלי מקלטים. עברים נפרח הנשף לשלום ואהבה. 100 שנים של חרב לא אבדה התקווה. יום חדש.
Wow, thank you. I have to say, I'm thinking about what you said about Mi Ben Levain and the hope that you keep giving us again and again. I've been saying recently to friends and colleagues, I'm tempted to get a new diagnosis registered for all of us, which is PSF, paradigm shift fatigue. And so when you talked about reconditioning ourselves, and sort of the just spirit and soul and beauty with which you invite us to do that, I think that is the treatment I need for paradigm shift fatigue. So in recognition of your vision and impact around the world, your social justice and philanthropic contributions, and of course, your unique and influential musical voice, the Board of Trustees of Hebrew College has voted to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, which I am privileged to confer upon you today.
What an honor.
We will now proceed with the conferring of academic degrees and certificates. It's time. I invite Rabbi Dr. Michael Shire, Academic Director of our Jewish Education Programs, to present the candidates for degrees in Jewish education.
Thank you, Sharon. Students, colleagues, friends and family. The nurturing of Jewish educators has been a core component of Hebrew College's mission since its founding in 1921, offering master's degrees and professional certificates. The education program uses a blend of on-campus and distance learning to develop and nurture outstanding leaders for the field of Jewish education. By deepening students' pedagogic content, knowledge, and skills, we educate professionals who can transform Jewish educational settings with innovative teaching and learning that inspires creativity, encourages spirituality, and includes diverse learners. President Annisfeld, I am pleased to call up the students who have completed the requirements for degrees in Jewish education and are present here today. Graduates, please come forward when your name is called. Receive your diploma from our Senior Director of the Office of Student Services, Bob Gilo, and then please return to your seats and remain standing. First of all, the candidates for the Master of Jewish Education degree. First, the name of Alyssa Pesaroff-Kishel. Sherry Beth Konowitz. Jennifer Catherine Walensky-Saber. And Sydney Bell Unger. I want to acknowledge the rabbinic and cantorial students who will later on receive their degrees, but who also work so hard and assiduously for the Masters in Jewish Education. And you will not be called up at this time, but to mention your names: Josh Greenberg, Elise Abrams, Jackson Mercer, Jenna Shaw, and Kahava Munro. Congratulations to you. Whilst he is unable to join us here today, we would like to acknowledge the candidate for a dual degree of Master of Jewish Education and Master of Arts in Jewish Studies, David Bosak Heilbronn. We also wish to acknowledge those students who have completed their studies in our Pardes Educators Program, an intensive 2-year program for individuals pursuing a career in Jewish day school education. This program is a creative collaboration between Hebrew College and the Pardes Institute in Jerusalem, designed to train inspiring day school leaders for the North American Jewish community. Students in this program have earned a Master of Jewish Education degree with a concentration in day school education. They will be participating in graduation ceremonies at the Pardes Institute in Yerushalayim, and so we join with our colleagues in Jerusalem in congratulating them on their achievement. Emma Caroline Keswick, Joshua Ray Less, and Danny Sattler. Mazel tov to you all. Congratulations. Rabbi Anisfeld.
Thank you, Rabbi Shire. In recognition of the requirements you have completed, upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to confer upon you your degrees from Hebrew College. Mazal tov. You may be seated. I now invite Herr Dr. Rabbi Dan Judson, Chief Academic Officer and Dean of Hebrew College's Graduate Leadership Programs, to present the candidates for degrees in our cantorial and rabbinic programs. This afternoon, cantorial and rabbinic students will participate in special ordination ceremonies at which they will receive talitot and blessings from the faculty in recognition of their new status as rabbis and cantors.
Thank you, Rabbi Anisfeld. We begin with the candidates for cantorial ordination. Our program in cantorial ordination fuses traditional Jewish text and liturgy with innovative musical and spiritual programming to meet the needs of 21st century Judaism. Our cantors serve as spiritual and musical leaders, communicating a Judaism that is both authentic and accessible, creating vibrant and inclusive spiritual communities. President Anisfeld, I am pleased to present the candidates for cantorial ordination. Please come forward when your name is called and remain standing when you return to your seat. Moshe Yishai Goldberg. Matthew Goldberg. Ishia.
Another chance at the rabbi.
And Kochava Krieger-Monroe.
Matt and Kochava, in recognition of the requirements you have ably completed, upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Hebrew College Board of Trustees, I am pleased to confer upon you certificates of cantorial ordination and master's degrees in Jewish education and Jewish studies. Mazal tov. You may be seated.
We will now confer master's degrees and ordination certificates to members of the 16th graduating class of the rabbinical program. The rabbinical program of Hebrew College combines traditional text study of the highest standard with graduate academic and professional training to prepare rabbis who are well-versed in Jewish texts and tradition and who have the knowledge, sensitivity, and skill needed to serve and inspire 21st century Jewish communities. President Anisfeld, I am pleased to present the candidates who have completed the requirements for rabbinical ordination and either Masters of Jewish Education in Jewish Studies or Masters of Jewish Education. Please come forward as your name is called and remain standing when you return to your seats. Eliza Esther Abrams, Elise Pincus Abrahams. Ariel Reuven Feld, Eric Feld. Liebe Batchefeld, Lisa Feld. Micha Simcha Friedman, Micah Friedman. Moshe Yeshia Goldberg. Raphael Greenberg, Joshua Greenberg. Ronan Ephraim Lesner, Brian Lesner. Eitan Michael Matthews, Alex Matthews. Yaakov Nachshon Mercer, Jackson Mercer. Yoshua Shalem Schreiber, Josh Shalem Schreiber. Yael Nechama Shah, Jenna Shah. Moshe Daniel, Mesha Daniel Stein, Danny Stein. Ashira Stevens. Ashira Stevens. Moshe Michael Weber. Moshe Weber.
In recognition of your completion of the requirements for rabbinic ordination and for the degree of Master of Arts in Jewish Studies or Master of Jewish Education, Upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to confer upon you your degrees and certificates of ordination. Esatto. You may be seated. I now invite my partner, our friend and leader, Andy Offit, the chair of the Board of Trustees of Hebrew College, to share brief greetings.
Thank you, President Annisfeld, Sharon. So welcome, everyone, and a hearty congratulations to all our graduates and their families. As board chair, this is one of my favorite days of the year. Our board works very focused and intentionally to sustain and perpetuate Hebrew College. This has been a more challenging last couple of years and very rewarding as well. Today, you are part of our history, the first graduation as owners and inhabitants of our new home. If we didn't say it enough, welcome to our new home. Please take some time to look around. This is also one of my favorite days because it reminds me why we do what we do, why we have early morning and late night meetings, why we work with staff and administration on budgets, why we volunteer our time and effort to Hebrew College. We do all this for you. Seeing our graduates, our board takes great pride in what you have accomplished, and we are thrilled to do our part in making this possible. Standing here today as a representative of our Board of Trustees, I witnessed firsthand your launch into the future. You may have chosen a more difficult path, yet this path will be filled with much learning and much meaning and purpose. You will make Jewish lives better. And for this, I'm honored to be a board member of Hebrew College. Your past and future success is what energizes us to work. I also love today for another reason. Most of you are sitting in the audience facing forward. You see the speakers, you see me. I love today because I get to see you. I get to see the smiles beaming on the faces of our graduates, the sense of pride and joy of their families and friends, and the love and support from the community. I get to see you on this beautiful and meaningful day in your professional life. And finally, today has special meaning to me. After serving as board chair for 6 years, I'll be stepping down at the end of this month. And yes, graduates, I'm as relieved as you are. After 6 years, this will be my last time speaking at graduation. 6 years. I could have been a rabbi. Actually, though, I will say that one Hebrew College rabbi in the family is enough. So, the kidding aside, for the biblical students, we've been on this journey together. We started around the same time, and we're now departing at the same time. And in some sense, I will always think of myself as part of the class of 2021. So congratulations to all of our graduates and their families. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'd like to now call upon Alyssa Kishel, who today received her Master of Jewish Education degree, to offer a closing prayer.
First of all, it's an honor to be up here, being able to do the closing blessing for all of the graduates today. In chapter 2, verse 7 of Pirkei Avot, the book of our sages, it says, Marbe yeshiva, marbe chachma, marbe itza, marbe tvuna, marbe tzedakah, marbe shalom, kana shem tov, kana liatzmo, kana lo divrei Torah, kana lo chaye ha'olam haba. The more sitting and studying, the more wisdom. The more counsel, the more understanding. The more charity, the more peace. One who has acquired a good name has acquired for himself. One who has acquired words of Torah has acquired for himself the life of the world to come. Today, we, educators, rabbis, and cantors, we sit together, wiser, stronger, and ready. We are ready to take on the roles we've been working for. We are ready to take on the responsibilities that will be handed to us as we take on those roles. We have worked to understand the teachings of the Torah, to better ourselves. We have worked to better ourselves so we can better the future generations. We are ready to help make this world a more beautiful place. We are grateful for the gift of our leaders and our teachers, without whom we would not be here right now. We are grateful for the gift we received from the lessons we learned. We are grateful that we can now share for generations to come and to pick up where the last generation left off, Lador Bador, from generation to generation. We are blessed with the gifts of the Torah so that we can help make this world a better place, to act of ma'asim tovim, acts of kindness. Let us be humble and mindful of all who learn from us. Bless us with the ability to share our strengths while not being afraid to expose our weaknesses. And bless us to be successful in our endeavors. We ask you, God, to bless the educators, rabbis, and cantors who are ready to take on the world. To all of us graduates, I would like to leave you with this prayer by Rabbi Harry H. Epstein. May you always have enough happiness to keep you sweet, enough trials to keep you strong, enough hope to keep you happy, enough failure to keep you humble, enough success to keep you eager, enough friends to give you comfort, enough wealth to meet your needs, enough enthusiasm to look forward, enough faith to banish depression, and enough determination to make each day better than yesterday. And let us all say, Amen. Toda rabah.
We conclude these exercises with a musical offering from Kol Harev, the Hebrew College Chamber Choir. Kol Harev is under the artistic direction of the director of our cantorial program, Cantor Lynn Torgov, and is conducted by our head of vocal arts and Kol Harev musical director, Amy Lieberman.
We will be singing a Yiddish song, Shalom Welt der Ganze, peace to the whole world, welcoming in the peace of Shabbat for all peoples as we share a sense of our universal connectedness, greeting one another in fellowship with a heartfelt Shabbos lied. Peace, peace to the whole world, and a friendly embrace. Let us flow together in a heartfelt Shabbos lied, Shabbos song.
Thank you, Kolarev. This concludes our commencement ceremony. I want to once again extend a big mazal tov to our 2023 graduating class and to those who have been honored here today. On behalf of the entire Hebrew College community, thank you all for joining us. For those who are moving on to the cantorial ordination, I invite you to move directly there. Somebody help me out. In the chapel, right? Yeah. So just down the hall to the chapel. We'll begin there in a few moments. The rabbinical ordination ceremony will be starting back in this room at 2:30. Mazal tov and thank you.